Hey, what's up guys, it is Sam here and welcome back to the channel. And in this video guys, I am bringing you the promised video where we're gonna be creating a level design in Unity, and I'm gonna try to make it as much as a tutorial as it becomes. I'm just gonna say already now, like, it's very difficult to make a tutorial on level designing, but I'm gonna try my best, and I'm just gonna kind of like, I don't know, elaborate on my thought process and the work itself that I do, and kind of describe every step that I take in order to achieve what I do achieve in my videos. So hope you guys do enjoy. If you do, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. All the likes are very appreciated, especially on this video, since it's quite special in my opinion, since you guys really wanted this. So yeah, I really appreciate any kind of support. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So first and foremost, we just have a very basic scene here. So I'm gonna go to game object 3D and create a terrain. This is per usual. Now one thing that I usually do is I move these three objects up a little bit so that it's, you know, above the grid line. And by three I mean the main camera, the directional light, and also the terrain. Then I just kind of like zoom into the main camera, and we're gonna now move this to the side a little bit, or maybe even to the middle of this terrain that we created. And now that it's already there, we can actually move the directional light as well in order to, you know, the reason I'm moving the directional light is because when I'm like this with the camera, I want to be able to click on directional light and see it already here. Like, just want to be able to edit that out. Actually, in fact, I don't even think that we're going to use the directional light, since we are not going to use a regular skybox. I'm going to use an asset called skydome, and I'm going to link all the assets that I use for this video in the description. If I forget anything, do let me know in the comments. I'm going to update it in that case. But some of these assets are going to be free. Some of the assets are going to cost a little bit, but this is in no way like sponsored or anything. So if you want to check them out, you can do so. But it works perfectly fine with using any other asset too. These are just my personal preferred assets. So if you want to check them out, you know, you can do that. But yeah, we are gonna now remove the default skybox from our scene. There we go. And I can actually, yeah, let's disable mixed lighting so that it's not baking the lighting itself right now. I just want to have everything real time for now. If we want to bake it later, we can come back to it. But the reason I do it all the time in my videos is because I don't want that weird coloring while it's actually baking. So I just disable it right off the bat. So yeah, here we are. We have our first terrain here. I'm going to go ahead and do it like this. We're going to add a new texture to our terrain. I can actually search for ground, and let's see which ones we get. This actually looks pretty cool. Let's try with this. So I just add the normal map. I usually decrease the size of the terrain texture to be from 15 to 5 in both 5 or in both X and Y axis, and I don't play around with the offset. The reason I decrease the size is because if we have the camera a little bit close to the ground like this, or maybe even up a little bit, you can see that it's still pretty, like, the pebbles and all that are actually pretty big right now. So we could in fact decrease it to 3 in both of these fields. There we go. I think that should be better. Now, in order to see this a little bit better, I'm actually going to go ahead and add our skydome, which is the time of day asset that I was talking about, and the one that I use in almost all of my videos, I would say. So if you want to check it out, like I said, it's in the description, but in no way do you have to purchase this. It's not sponsored. It's just something that I use, and it's publicly available, so why not just give out the name, right? Since you guys also ask me usually, like, hey, what do you use for your sky or whatever? So here it is. Now I'm actually gonna rotate it. Yeah, maybe like this, so that the sun is actually behind our player or the camera. And the reason is because I'm actually gonna visually resemble this a little bit better for this video, but I want the shadows to kind of not hit like the grasses, or not hit the main camera itself when we have grass and all that. That's because it adds a lot to the coloring of the grass and also the trees and the branches and all that, so that I don't really have to play that much with the ambient lighting. In case I do want to play with the ambient lighting, I'm okay with, you know, just editing the sky color. Speaking of which, I'm actually gonna edit the Rayleigh here. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I don't want to have it this bright. So we're gonna first and foremost, nah, the opacity is cool with the, yeah, maybe 0.8 was actually good for opacity on the clouds. And I also want to increase the size so that it looks a little bit more foggy when we actually have increased coverage like that. And I want to play with the, I don't want to have them way too dark. Maybe sharpness can be a little bit less like that, so that it's kind of like, you know, blooming out. But I don't want them to bloom that much, so I'm gonna decrease. There we go. I think that looks pretty realistic, right? So there we go. My mouse wasn't answering, but I'm also gonna play with the my multiplayer a little bit. There we go. Maybe the brightness, I don't know. I perhaps want the hour to be a little bit, actually I'm okay with the hour. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I don't want to color the ground and all the objects way too much because I play with the hours, so I'm gonna let it be 10, right? Just kind of sum that up real quick. Let it be 10, and then we can come back to the sky itself after we actually add our objects, because obviously that's when it's going to matter the most, since it's gonna be ambient or kind of like reflecting all the skylight onto the objects. Speaking of which, I actually am going to go ahead and create the first grass here, but as a difference, we're not going to be using the terrain systems grass for this video, and I'm actually going to use 3D models for the grass. And the reason I do that is because I think it looks a lot better, and if you mix it up with a good LOD system, you can actually get a pretty good looking result there. So as you can see, we have an asset here, or like a toolbar, which is essentially an asset called QuickBrush. I'm gonna link this in the description as well. If I do forget something, please let me know in the comments. I'm really bad at keeping track of this. But basically, this is like, you pretty much like hold down your control button and you can start painting. Oh yeah, I actually have a layer setting for that. Hold on. Layer, oh no, I don't wanna do that. I wanna go there. I wanna set this to ground. There we go. So, as you can see, when I hold down my control button to the most left on my keyboard, which this asset allows, you can pretty much start painting just like you would with the terrain system itself. But this is a little bit more different because obviously these are 3D models, so you have to keep a little bit better track on the amount of objects you're actually instantiating because you don't want to go over the line. So that's actually what I'm gonna use. This was not free. No, it's not free. Yeah, it's not free. But I'm gonna link it down in the description if you want to grab this up, or at least check it out, because it's pretty cool IMO. So we have like really small, okay, they were not very small, but I'm gonna decrease the size, or perhaps the scale. There we go. Maybe that's gonna make it look a little bit better. Yeah, they're still too big. I could also move up the camera a little bit. And now increase the scale. There we go. Maybe that will make it look a little bit better like pebbles. I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with it. If I think that they're too big, I can still come back to it later. So what we're gonna do with the pebbles is basically just, you know, place them in the middle of the road. We're gonna have like a road here, right? Oh, that was actually way too small. Let me do it like this. Boom. Oh no. This is too difficult to edit. Let's do it like this, 0.3 to 0.5. Oh, there we go. So I just edit that out. And we can do like this. There we go. I think that's gonna look better. Yeah, actually really good. So these are essentially just gonna be pebbles in the middle of our road, and we're gonna have grass on them as well, and then we're gonna have like just dirt at this side, and then grass here, and essentially just end up having rocks and trees on each side of the map. I think it's just gonna be a very basic like kind of forest scene, but it's not really gonna, you know, it's gonna be basic to build and construct, but it's not gonna, it's obviously gonna look good, because that's what we are trying to do here. I'm also gonna add another ground texture here. Maybe this. Let's try it with this one. I think this is the normal map for it. Let's add this to be set size 3 by 3 once again. And we can decrease the size. Yeah, that actually looks pretty cool. I'm okay with this. Yeah, this is actually good. Let's see if 2 by... Nah, that's too much. Actually, 5 even looks better. I think 5 looks better. Because grass is very different compared to dirt. When you have dirt, you kind of want the pebbles to be as small as possible. But when you have grass, you want to be able to see every single one of these, like these separate, branches on the ground. So it looks good to have a little bit bigger resolution for the texture on the texture itself, basically. So let me do like this. There we go. So now we have completely erased the part of the map where we painted with the grass. So I'm gonna redo this, and this time obviously make it a little bit more perfect-ish. I don't want the size of this to be way too big, so let's have like 2. See how this goes. Maybe have a little bit straight. There we go, just like that. Pretty much like a line. Cool. Like that. There we go. Now, one thing that I usually do is I keep the brush size, but I decrease opacity to be half the size that we actually use right now. Oh, it doesn't like that. Oh yeah, it's actually at 50. There we go. I forgot that it was not a float. Target strength maybe 0.5 on this one. There we go. And now we're gonna paint on the side of this grass texture that we just painted here. Maybe like that. And the reason I'm doing this is because we obviously have a strong grass texture in the middle. It looks independent because it's not a part of the dirt on the ground, but we also want it to be kind of fading out a little bit from the dirt itself. So when we have it like this, it's kind of helping out with the, with that factor, to ensure that it's kind of like having this fade out effect, which it looks pretty cool. I like it. So now that we have the texture done, we're actually gonna go ahead and add our grass here. I think I'm gonna use this one. Now the size is going to be a little bit messed up for this grass. We can also decrease the brush size here, or the brush radius. There we go. I think that should be better. Yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah, the grass is way too small. I want to have it a little bit bigger. So maybe 1 by 1.5. We could try and see how it looks. That's too much, I think. And I also want to increase the stroke spacing so that we don't have too many being placed at the same time, like that. There we go. I think the size is pretty good, right? I think it's okay. Let me do like this. We are, you know what? We're actually gonna go with 1.5 but by 2. I think that's gonna be a lot better in terms of size. Yeah, I'm actually okay with this. If we want to, we can rescale it soon. It's not a big problem. So we just place it, kind of in the middle here. Hold ourselves to the middle of the map. There we go. Just kind of align it perfectly. And now I want to actually have a little bit smaller grass. So we can go with 1 by 1.5. There we go. Actually, you know what? I think this is going to be too much. We could go with like 0.7 to 0.2. There we go. So 0.5, half pretty much as a difference. And this is to kind of have the same kind of effect that we did with the texture. You have it, that's actually way too much. Kind of have, the same effect, and have it like fading out with the grass too. Oh, I punched my microphone once again. I do that in every video, I swear. Is this too little? We can actually do like this. Let's go ahead and decrease stroke spacing. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I don't want them to be way too big because these are just small grass, kind of. It's almost like pebbles, but in form of grass. That's the best explanation that I can give for this. On top of that, we are, or speaking of which, we're actually gonna go ahead and place some pebbles soon too. Now, I also wanna just add on to this. I don't have any LODs for this because this is just a single perspective, but if you're making a serious game, you might obviously want to use some LOD system for this. But I don't really mind doing that right now because I don't really care. It's not that I don't care, but you know, I just don't really bother using it right now. We're gonna do like this. We're actually gonna move them out once again out of this parent directory that we created. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to be able to remove, if I accidentally remove that parent grass from our scene, I'm gonna end up removing all the grass here, which I don't want to deal with. So we're just gonna keep it like this. Let's go ahead and add, yeah, you know what, actually let's check here, front. All right, we're gonna front from the or cull from the front, which is good. And we have wind quality set to be palm, which means that the grass is pretty much gonna bend completely. The best quality is not good at all. Don't use that if you're making a level design. Use palm. That's the best one, even for trees, not only grass but for trees. Let's see here, hue variation. I don't really want it to be that orange-ish. As you can see, if we change it, obviously it changes real time as well. Now, as you can see, if you have it completely white, you can see that it's kind of looking weird, right? So what you want to do is you want to have it kind of like black-ish and go towards orange, right? And you can see the difference that is going to tint a little bit. You don't want the tint way too much. Like if we have completely orange, it's not going to look good. But if you have it just a little bit, it's going to look like it's just the sun shafts, you know, striking the grass itself, which makes it look a lot better. So keep it like that. And now we're gonna try adding a few pebbles here. See how that goes. Is this good in size? Let's see. Yeah, I think it's okay. We are actually gonna go ahead and add some grasses or some pebbles, or not pebbles, rocks. There we go. Actually, pretty much like pebbles, but a little bit bigger in scale. So you can actually have it like this. There we go. And we can have it like this. There we go. So one thing I'm gonna do here is to add a little bit of variation to our scene. What I mean by that is that if you look from our camera's perspective, you can only see grass in the middle, which makes it look like meh. And we don't want our scene to be meh, we want it to be good. So what I'm gonna do is, by using QuickBrush, if I hold down Control, click on X, I'm gonna switch between removing items and adding items. So we were obviously painting by now, but now I click on Control X and I can start removing things. So yeah, maybe we can add back that grass specifically. Where was it? There it is. So we just add back. Oh yeah, the scale is a little bit too little. Let's do like that. That's still too little, right? Actually, a interesting idea is to have a little bit lower kind of scaled grass here. But we can try. We can play around with the ideas. Maybe have it like maximum and see how big that becomes. Yeah, that's actually better. That's actually better. I'm also going to implement what I said just a little bit before that that thing happened with removing the grass. I'm actually gonna add a rock here in between these two because it's quite close to where the camera starts, and I think it's gonna look pretty good if I add the grass there. Or not grass, but some rock with grass texture there, which means pretty much moss. And this rock pack is also going to be linked in the description. I think that is the best one that I've found thus far on the asset store. As you can see, it looks very realistic. Or actually, I'm gonna edit out the texture here a little bit, but it looks a lot realistic. Not mask, that's the moss. There we go. So we want to decrease the detail diff int. I don't know what that really means, but we also want to normal map int. Yeah, we can actually have them almost maxed out. Almost. Not really. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. We can have it like that. Increase the size a little bit, or maybe even decrease. Yeah, I think increasing is a lot better. If you decrease it, it's going to be look bigger in terms of the moss, which I don't really want to deal with. So I think this is actually pretty good. There we go. I think that's fine. So we can actually move this rock down a little bit. There we go. And we can also add a few pebbles around it to make it look a little bit more real. So we just do like that. Boom. Just add a few. Not too many. Not really required to add way too many. It still looks a little bit empty. So we could go ahead and add a different kind of grass here too. Let's see how this one looks. I don't really like that one. Maybe another one? Like this? Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. Yeah, I like this. So we just add these like here, and to keep it, a little bit more light with a different type of grass texture. This is also something very important that a lot of indie level designers miss out on, to add more grass textures, or several, perhaps. It's something that a lot of people miss out on. It's a very important factor though, so don't do that. Or don't miss out on it. Do this, like add a few different textures for grass, or else it just looks very plain and really static. You don't want that. You don't want it to look dull. You want it to look, a little bit more real. There's that kind of effect. This is actually a pretty cool texture for grass, or even a model for that matter. Maybe we could actually create a little bit of room for this one. One thing I'm also gonna do here is remove hue variation. It should have a better effect. I think it's for the fonts, right? Let's try that. I don't really see that much of an effect. Yeah, these are the fonts themselves. I don't know. I don't know if I like this. This grass right here. I don't think that it fits. We're gonna remove it for now. We can come back to it later if we think that it's gonna be better. But I'm gonna add this grass again, and we're actually gonna increase the maximum size to be 1.3. Let's try with 3. Oh, I think we actually have this. Oh, I see the issue. All right, I had the size or the scale to be set to minimum. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. We're also gonna add this a little bit further back in the scene, like that. And maybe we can even increase size to 1.5. Maybe even a little bit better or more. 2? I think 2 is gonna be too much. It actually isn't. That's surprising. We could then try with 2.5. It wasn't even close to being way too much. Do I forget? Yeah, I do. I knew that I was forgetting something. I was like, no, this is actually way too perfect to be true. Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. Cool. This is good. Nice. So we're just adding a little bit of variation here and there. Also, another way of adding a little bit more variation is to copy, paste this rock here and see how it fits at a part like this. Rotate it, obviously, to make it look, very varied, or a little bit different at least. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let's add another type of rock here as well. I think we have a very good one by this pack. I think it was this one. Yeah, it is actually this one, but I'm obviously gonna edit that out. So let's go to the texture, mask power, increase that, make it a little bit mossy right there. Bump, yeah, let's have it out. There we go. Detail diff, I think that we can keep it low so that it's a little bit more grayish rather than black. The more detail diff int you have is going to make it darker. So you don't want to, you know, have it too much. Well, this actually looks pretty good. So the special part of this rock model especially is the fact that it makes it look like there are pebbles on the edges, which is actually pretty dope. I really like it. I use it in almost every single one of my level designs, so I'm in love with it. I think this looks pretty good, but too big. There we go. Maybe we want to keep it like that. Yeah, that's actually really nice. We can also have one at this side. There we go. It's kind of like hidden, like not underneath, but behind the grass that sticks out the most. So that it's visible, but it's not way too visible, right? You don't want it to be all over the place. We're also gonna add a wind zone here. Maybe move this forward a little bit like that, so that we can have it in our reach. There we go. So we wanna, you know, one thing that I realize when people play around with wind zones is that they either have it like really standard like this, or towards the camera, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Don't have it on like 90 degrees, 180 degrees, or 0 degrees. Just have it like a little bit 45 degrees, you know, 30 degrees. Just play around with, you don't have to know the perfect degrees for how much you have to rotate your wind zone, but just kind of rotate it towards the side a little bit, you know, a little bit forward, a little bit to the side, literally 45 degrees from your camera's perspective. So yeah, just kind of play around with it, you know, have a little bit of fun. In fact, I'm actually gonna do this now, so let's add them there. There we go, so that we keep it a little bit clean. Once again, I'm not using LODs, but you want to use LODs if you're creating a game. This is just for a scene, so it's not very important for me to keep LODs. Let's see here. We did add the, yeah, I'm actually gonna go ahead and do like this now. So we're gonna make it a little bit more clean where the road itself is. So we are going to paint the rest of the map with grass. There we go. So we want to do it here. Although actually this is way too much handle. There we go. Now one thing you want to specifically look for is you don't want to paint again on this layer that we had 0.5 at. Actually, we can also increase this to 101. There we go. And you won't want to paint on this layer because otherwise it's just going to make it look very plain and dull. So you don't want to, you know, just be careful where the brush is. There we go. Looks pretty good. Maybe that's too much, but we can play around with the value soon. There we go. That actually looks pretty cool. So we just paint the rest to mark our area, show dominance. There we go. So just kind of be careful with this so that you don't have to undo everything. There we go. Now you can see that it's looking a little bit dull. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna finish off this part. There we go. So that it looks a little bit more narrow. And one more thing is that you decrease target strength for the dirt and also the opacity. And then you kind of have the lowest brush size for, you know, the brush itself. And you kind of start painting a little bit on the grass here. And maybe you can increase the target strength a little bit. There we go. That looks a lot better. So the reason I'm doing this, obviously, to make it look a little bit less dull. And it's the same effect as we painted this grass texture or the layer itself with lower opacity, because we don't want it to look, you know, kind of like cut out. We want it to look fading, right? We want it to fade in and fade out. You can see that the texture of the grass ground is a little bit too little because you can see the pattern really easily. So let's go ahead and increase the size. 15 is too much. Let's go with 10. I think that looks better. But we can go with 8 by 8 and see how that goes. If it's way too much, if it's way too little, you know, we can play around with it later, but that's a later plan. So let's add one more ground texture because I don't really I don't dislike the dirt texture that we have right now, but it's not perfect either. So let's go ahead and add another one and see if we can find a better suiting one. Like that. Let's decrease the size to 5 by 5. Yeah, maybe we can actually increase the opacity for this one. Hey, that actually looks pretty cool. Yeah, it actually looks really, really nice. However, I think I'm gonna mix this up with the dirt texture that we already have. So we can have it like that, and it go a little bit, cut out, and then boom, continue here, and then the same thing here. So we just kind of go like this, a little bit random, you know what I'm saying? And then boom, we cut out a little bit, you know, just give it time for some more pebbles, and then boom, we paint it here. There we go. Now we want to go back to our grass texture and paint a little bit more here, so that we kind of show once again the area that we want to have the road at, so that we have it a little bit more clean and organized. Not too much though, you know, just kind of playing around with the value and see which one fits you the best, or fits your scene the best. I actually want to test this texture out. This looks really interesting. I don't think that I'm gonna necessarily use this one here. Yeah, that actually looks really, really dope. What else is this? It's the medieval environment. Yeah, it's actually really cool. I'm gonna perhaps use it later in this video, but we'll see. We'll see where we get. Let's see here. We could actually have a little bit more grass. Not in the middle though, on the sides. So let's do like this. Let's pick this grass. Start painting a little bit. Yeah, that's too. Decrease the 1.5. Still too much. I want it to be a little bit like smaller on the edges of here, right? So that it's not too much. I don't want it to stick out way too much. It's like that. So as you can see, if you're using the same kind of grass here like I do, you can see that it's kind of like black spots on the grass. I think we can fix it by coloring the front. I think it should work. Yeah, actually coloring the front is a lot better. Yep, it does kind of fix it. Hue variation. Nah, let's keep hue variation, but yeah, let's keep hue variation. I'm actually happy with the hue variation. On this specific grass though, not the other one. There we go. And then we painted here too, you know, just kind of, there we go. There we go. These are just small ones. We're gonna have, you know, bigger grass soon too. Let's play the scene and make sure that the wind is working. It is. It's working in our favor. Although we can make a single edit here to our wind. I usually decrease the wind main to 0.7, turbulence to like 0.5. And pulse magnitude, I either keep it or play around with the value, but for now we can keep it and see how we edit the wind effect right now. There we go. That actually looks better. The reason I do this is because we kind of like decrease the pulse in terms of how much the grass is bending and how fast the wind is, you know, stroking the grass. And that's an important factor you want to play with when you're actually making a scene. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add one of my most favorite. This is sponsored. No, I'm just joking. This is not sponsored, I swear. But I'm gonna add one of my favorite post processings, which is Mad Goat SSA. Oh boy, this one is saving me so much headache. Like, it's not even funny. This one basically has a anti-aliasing effect added to your scene, and if we maximize on play, you're gonna see that it looks a lot more clean and less jaggy on the grass, especially very important when we're using wind, because that's when you actually want this to strike the most. I also want to add a little bit more, you know, post-processing right off the bat. We could go ahead and increase the sharpness to 1, by the way. I like that value more. I'm also gonna add a post-processing behavior. There we go. And we have one called Join Discord Squad. By the way, if you haven't joined, join. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna use this one, and let's edit that out. Ambient occlusion, holy, that's so much. Screen sprays, we don't really need that. Motion blur, let's keep that. Eye adaptation, yeah, remove that. Bloom, keep it. Anti-aliasing, yeah, we can actually keep it. It doesn't really matter. Ambient occlusion, though, the radius is too much or too big. Let's see. Yeah, that looks better. Anti-aliasing always saves you from all these situations ever. Use anti-aliasing, it's very important. I think that looks better. You know, just kind of, it's all about adding that little extra shadow effect to your grass, which looks gorgeous. I like it. Although the radius doesn't really fit here. I think this radius is the best. I think that's the one that fits the best. I'm not gonna play with the intensity anymore. I think that's actually pretty good. If we want to edit it out, obviously we're just gonna come back to it, but for now we can leave it. I'm also gonna add one more, which is called prism effects. Prism effects. There we go. I am going to add a tone map. I think it was tone map, right? I think so. I'm actually gonna have to check this out. Let me see. Yeah, I want just kind of like color correction, but not really. Color enhance, there we go, that's a lot better. So we're just gonna enhance the color a little bit, not too much. There we go. You can disable and re-enable the effect too in order to see the effect itself. But this looks a lot better than what it did before. So I'm happy with this. I'm actually satisfied. So we're gonna keep that, and now we can actually start adding our trees and a little bit of rocks on the side and such. So let's see how that ends up. We're gonna first and foremost go ahead and search for a rock here, so that we can kind of highlight where we want the rocks to be, where we want the trees to be, and where we want the small grasses to be, so that we don't mix it all up and keep it a little bit more clean and organized. Not this one. Let's see. We had the same pack here, so I want to use that. I think these are actually really good. Let's see how this one looks when we rotate it. Actually pretty dope. Holy crap, that's actually really good. What? I did not know. There we go. And we can decrease the detail diff on this one. Although it's not really affecting because the shadow is way too strong. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna edit the lighting a little bit. Or we can keep it like that. And we can, yeah, increase the hour a little bit. Like that. It's actually pretty cool. One thing that I started recently doing is to decrease the shadow strength. To have it a little bit more, you know, clear there. 0.85 is actually a good value that I found. One seems to be a little bit too strong for a day environment. 0.85 is like, you know, the ambient is kind of hitting up, you know, it's sunny outside. It looks pretty cool. I like it. Let's see here. Yeah, let's have my there. Oh, that actually looks pretty cool. There we go. I think I'm gonna just have that kind of sky here. Fogginess. No, no, I don't want to use fogginess. I'm okay without it. There we go. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna keep painting, not really painting, but, you know, placing down the rocks here to ensure that we have a little platform that is higher than the other part of the map, so that we can place our trees on that, you know, have our terrain kind of stick out a little bit more and such. Maybe we can have it a little bit closer to the camera even. There we go. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's actually really good. So we can keep it like that. And at this part though, I actually want to play around with this a little bit more. So we're going to increase the brush size here for our terrain. And we're going to decrease the opacity. Oh, that's still too much. There we go. Just kind of have it like a little hill here, you know. not too much. There we go. Nice. So I also want to smoothen this out. Oh, that's not smooth. There we go. Increase the opacity for this part so that we have a little bit more like hill but smooth, right? Because we don't want it to look jaggy and we don't want the grass to flip with the terrain. We just want it to look smooth, like I said. So one more thing that I'm gonna do here is actually a little trick. So you pick the paint height tool. If it's, yeah, it's actually called paint height. So you just pick this tool from the terrain. You can increase this. Oh, okay, that's too. There we go. All right, maybe a little bit more. There we go. And then you pretty much hold down Shift, click on the highest part of your terrain that you want to keep painting on, like literally the height, and now you can start painting that height specifically. I'm gonna show you guys a trick for making smooth terrain. So just do this for now. You know, it's gonna look a little bit jaggy, but trust me, we're gonna make it look better. As you can see, the height seems to be 0.8 something something for this, so we're gonna put it to 1 now. And we're gonna start painting a little bit behind where we just painted. So like that, boom. Kind of have it across the map. And now we are going to, where is it? There it is. We're gonna increase to 1.5, not 15, 1.5. There we go. So let's see here. We can actually have it, like I said, once again, a little bit behind the other part. There we go. And we're doing the same thing one more time at 2.3, a little bit more this time. And boom, behind it, right? Maybe even behind. There we go. So that we have a little bit of room for what we just had before, but still, you know, this one is going to stick out. Now we want to go to Smooth Tool, increase the size and the opacity especially, and I just smoothen this out. And you're gonna see that it looks a lot more beautiful because we have a hill that is actually smoothened out. So now when we place our rocks and such, it's actually going to look a lot better. And you can see that I can, you know, undo this a little bit and play around with the smoothness because I don't want it to be way too low. I still want it to be a little bit bumpy because this is a hill and it shouldn't be too calm. We still want it to be a little bit bumpy here and there. So actually go ahead and increase this to 5. I'm just gonna test this out. And I think this is too much, right? Actually, we can try it out. Let's smoothen this out. That actually looks good. I'm gonna keep it. This is what I'm talking about when I say level design. Like you're gonna realize that a lot of stuff, a lot of things you're like, nah, this is gonna look bad. You're actually gonna like it. So when you're level designing, go ahead and try. Trying is your best friend when you're designing a level, legit. So we're gonna paint, you know, some grass here. Just the grass texture itself. We can do the same at this part. Nah, actually, I undo that. There we go. Just kind of want to highlight where we're actually having grass and not. So one thing that I want to do here though is I want to first and foremost, yeah, let's go ahead and first and foremost just finish the placing of these rocks. So we have that complete. There we go. Just kind of reuse the same model in case I like it, which I do in this case. So it's like, why not? There we go. And we can add another one, a little bit different this time. Yeah, this is actually a good trick you can use too. We're gonna come back to this, but for now, I'm just gonna remind myself to do this by placing these pebbles here. One tip is to actually add some pebbles underneath these rocks. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them, in order to keep it a little bit more aligned and kind of like, it makes more sense that there are pebbles here, right? So just kind of keep it like that. But one more trick is to decrease the mask on this one. Is that too much? No, that's actually literally the same. Yeah, maybe we can keep it like that. That's actually a lot better. So we just decrease the mask a little bit because we don't want it to be way too mossy. That kind of makes a little bit more sense, to me at least. So let's see how this one looks. Oh, that's actually really edgy. Let's see. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool when you rotate it like that. I'm gonna keep that. We can add one more. This is actually for cliff. This actually looks really good. You know what? I'm gonna remove this and add this one instead. Like that. Boom. Increase the size a little bit. Oh boy, I missed this one out completely. Holy moly. Alright, that looks really good. Alright, so I guess now we could actually start adding a little bit of grass here. Actually, let's do like this. Let's make these two. There we go. Just kind of combine them. Maybe rotate it a little bit like that, you know, to kind of have like a little bit of variation right here. We could copy this one, paste it over here. Maybe a little bit front. There we go. That looks pretty cool. And then maybe we can have like a little rotation right here, right? So that we can cover up this part with trees. So let's not have that one. Let's have this one, but rotate it this way and kind of cover up this area. And then we have one more of this, but rotate it this way and kind of just have it like that. But we can increase the size a little bit. There we go. So we're just kind of like trying to close off the map now so that we don't, you know, go infinitely, but we kind of have like a limit. Yeah, let's come back to this later. For now, we can actually keep focusing on the grass part here. Let's see what we're painting here. Let's not pick that. There we go. Yeah, let's do like this. Boom. We have a little bit of grass there. We have a little bit of grass here. Like that. Just very, very simple. Not too much. Not too little though. We just kind of keep it, you know, a little bit clean. But at the same time, obvious that it's grassy. So it's like that. Now we can actually start, you know, adding a little bit of variation there. So I want to see what this is. I forgot what this grass is. Oh, it is that one. Alright. We probably don't want to use that one. I don't really like it. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. But we could use the other one. I think it was this one, right? It is that one. Although that doesn't add too much variation since we already use it. So why do we not fill it up with a few brushes? Oh, that's too much. Let's decrease the size to 0.7 maximum. And let's have it up 0.42. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. Although I want to increase the stroke spacing for this because the bushes, you don't want to have equal amount of brush or bushes as you have tree or grasses, right? Because they're not the same kind of way. So you want to have it a little bit different, like that. Boom, boom. You know, just kind of see the flowers. It's pretty much a good thing. And we can actually have this in the middle too. Just a few, not too many. There we go. I like that. Maybe one here. Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah, that's actually good. Like just a few. You know, people always think, oh, not too many means 100. It's like, no. Like a few, literally. Just 2, 3, 4, 5, not 100. We also want to. There we go. I was like, what's wrong with that rock? Like, what's the issue? And now we found out. So let's decrease the mask power on these rocks as well, because they're kind of cliffs, and I want to have obviously a mask, which basically means moss in this scenario, but I don't want to have it too much, right? Because you kind of want to like limit that a little bit, have it like a constraint. So that's actually pretty good. What I'm gonna do next is I am going to increase the height of the terrain a little bit here. This is too much, so let's try with 1. And we can decrease the size. Yeah, that's actually good. Yeah, that's actually really good. So let's do that here, like kind of around behind these rocks. There we go. Maybe I have a derm. Just like that. We are pretty much going to place trees on these. So these are going to be like the background of the hills that we just created by placing these rocks. So these are going to be higher platforms where we are going to place, like I said, trees and such. So we're gonna have a little bit of difference here, rather than just plain and simple as it is here. So let's start actually adding a few trees here and see how we can proceed from that point. Maybe I want to use this pine cone. Not really pine cone. I forgot the name of that tree. That actually looks pretty cool. Like that. Boom. Yeah, this is actually really nice. I like it. Although the texture doesn't really look that good. I think there's something to do with the, yeah, I think it's the alpha cutoff. Not really. Let me see here. If we increase the size of this, yeah, it becomes a little bit more obvious in terms of how the branches are seen, but the grass or the like the fonts themselves, they don't really look that good on that grass or the tree. I forget. I always am at grass still. Like I can't exit grass. All right, let's just use it. It doesn't really matter. Let's increase the size just a little bit. There we go. And we can in fact have a bit of variation. So we can remove this, remove this one and add new. Boom, boom. There we go. Nice. That looks good. Yeah, that actually looks good. So one more trick that I usually do in my scenes, in case I don't want to fill the background way too much, is I just cover it up with something like rocks, mountains, and such. But actually, maybe for this design, rocks as little mountains could be pretty cool, or maybe even like cliffs. So yeah, we are actually gonna use this rock texture that I was talking about and fill it up a little bit in the background, like just behind the trees, not too close. Maybe we could add, yeah, let's go ahead and add the cliffs right off the bat. So we can add this to test. Oh, that actually looks sick. Yep, we are gonna wanna decrease the detail diff. Oh, it was maxed out. I was like, yeah, it's way too dark like this, but yeah. All right, there we go. Cool. Just like that, boom, copy. We can increase the size of this one. Kind of like that. Yeah, that actually looks nice. Then we can copy this little one. We don't want to have way too big cliffs all the way. Not too big, like you want to limit the size of them a little bit. We can do one more. Oh, that actually looks really nice with the sun hitting it. The light is hitting this one a little bit better because of the size of this. Kind of like shadowing this one. But this one is actually really nice. I like it. I'm gonna keep it like this for now. I think I could add one more. I think we have room for one more. Yep. That actually looks really, really nice. This is also one way you can use like the same model for several spots by rotating, scaling up, scaling down, rotating the other way, and back and forth. You know, just play around with the transform values in terms of position, scale, and rotation, so that you kind of get this unique effect for your game or for your scenes. One more thing that I want to do here, a little bit different than the other part, is I want to add grass to this platform, but I don't want to have it as 3D models for the optimization part of this video. What did I just do? Okay, there we go. I want to actually search grass. I want to see first and foremost if we do have usable grass here. Let's try with this one. Yeah, that actually is nice. But one thing you want to edit here, or a few things you want to edit here, is first and foremost the color. You don't want it to be that green. Because the other grasses aren't that green. You want to match the colors a little bit at least. So we can try matching that by having it like that. And then this part maybe a little bit darker. And you also want to take consideration into the color of the fronds and the branches of your trees, because they do kind of reflect a little bit and you want to fit them together. I think that's actually pretty cool for now. We can also decrease the minimum width, maximum width, 1.5, 0.7. Yeah, that actually looks really good. 0.5. There we go. I actually like this. I don't want these grasses way too high up, because they're not as high quality as 3D models, so you want to be a little bit more careful when you're using these. So you just paint them, you know, around here, back all the way back to the mountains, or yeah, let's call them mountains. They are technically speaking mountains. So you just have it like that, boom, kind of like reaching all the way back, right? And we can also increase the detail distance, not too much. Actually, yeah, we can keep it like that. I don't really want it to be badly optimized, so we can keep focusing on the optimization part a little bit more too. So there we go. I think that looks pretty cool, although we might want to have a little bit of variation here as well. Let's pick the bush here. So we add a few bushes here like that. We actually have one more speed tree model of a bush, which looks really, really good. Although I actually have an idea for, we can add a few 3D grasses too, which are these ones. I love these. I love these. I started using them recently on my videos, but I love them. Oh, that's too much of a radius. We could also increase the size of this to be minimum 1.5, maximum 2. And we can stretch this out to ensure that it's, you know, kind of playing around with these values. Oh, okay. That was like instant regret. Let's say let's say 0.7, 1.2. Let's see how that goes. Even that is too much. 0.4, 0.7. Let's see. We're just trying. Now it's too. You know what? I'm actually okay with this. But we can have it a little bit bigger. Just a little bit, slightly. Like 0.5 to. Let's try with 0.5 to 1. Let's see how that goes. I think 1 is going to. Nah, it's actually perfect. I like it. Like that. Boom, we added here too. Now, as you can see, we are adding it here, but it's not that good visible, right? One trick is to increase the size slightly, 0.8 to 1.5, and add it here again. Although, where actually is that? Oh, it's here, yeah. So you kind of have it a little bit bigger here, and they are gonna be more visible. It's a little trick to use while making level design, and we could actually have a little bit more of these in the background too, so that the what do you call them, the mountains don't look way too cut off when they actually begin. One more trick that I usually have in my level designs is that I usually have a few trees behind these mountains as well, sticking up above the mountains. Like this. You copy this tree, paste it, move it up a little bit, behind the mountain, boom. You have one more, rotate this, you know, you can do this manually. It doesn't really have to be something that you place with QuickBrush or with any other asset for that matter. Like that. We can have one more thing that is very important when you're doing this though, is that you don't overdo it, because you don't want to fill your map with trees. That's not the point of your map, right? So increase the sizes of these a little bit, like that, and just kind of have them, you know, be there. Just tell the player, hey, there is, or the viewer, hey, there is actually trees here. One more thing I actually reminded myself of. We can keep this one, but I want to add another model of a tree. That one is actually really good. So, you know, it's all about variation. It is all about that variation. Maybe that's too much. There we go. That looks really nice. So you can also rotate them on the x-axis a little bit, like not too much, but a little bit. And that makes it look like it's kind of conforming the terrain height and the terrain rotation, or yeah, terrain height basically. Like that. Nice. So you play around with the perspective a little bit, you know, make it a little bit more as an illusion, which makes it look a bit more unique at least. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I do think, oh, this actually looks nice, but I mean, it's too much for me. Too much for me, definitely. I want to have a bit more here. Yeah, let's keep that one. That actually looks nice. Yeah, nice. That actually looks pretty cool. So we want to have one more rock, like all the way back here, and scale this up a little bit so that it's more visible, but and scale it up on the y-axis. And pretty much align this in the middle so that it's visible through the grass. That is sticking up just a bit, not necessarily too much, just a bit. That's pretty cool. I like that. And we can now keep just kind of spawning these rocks here so that we continue with our deformation of the road. So like that. There we go. And we can wait, we actually did, yeah, we did. There we go. Nice. So we can keep it, you know, like that for now. And let's go ahead and paint a bit more grass here so that we kind of suit it with the way that this road is going. Although this is a little bit too sharp that I realize now. So let's go back a few steps. Do that again. Yeah, that's better. Just make sure that there is still at least as much gap as here in here too, so that you don't overdo that. Nice. That's the same one. Let's try this one this time. So just kind of place it here. There we go. And there we go. That is pretty much it. We're also gonna use this part of the map to cover up for the rest of the spot so that we don't have to overdo this one more time and so on. So we're just gonna go the lazy way of doing a level design, but it's still gonna look good. So we can play this one time and see how it looks with the wind and all. That's nice. That's definitely nice. I like it. But one thing that I really want to edit here is the grass on the terrain. We can first and foremost decrease the speed of the wind. We can also decrease the there and have it like that so that the tint isn't too much. Bending can also be decreased a little bit. There we go. Maybe we can also decrease the detail intensity so that we don't have way too much of it. Let's see how that looks. Otherwise, it just looks way too overdone. That's a lot better because now you can see the sharpness of the grasses too, even though they are billboarded. So that looks a lot better. Yeah, I like that. So, oh, we have a detail mesh on my other monitor, but now we're actually gonna fill it up with a bit more. I think we can continue these. Hold on a minute. We're actually gonna have a background mountain here. There we go. Not that close though. Nice. Just kind of fill up a huge chunk actually of the of the map that we have. I remember that either, I think I was using this one, or else I was not. Huh. Wait, we can actually do like this. No, we clearly can't. Alright. Let's not use the fog from this. Let's try the fog with... Oh wait, there was no fog with this one. Yeah. Maybe in that case we could do like this. I don't know if I have one that is suitable. Let's see, let's see. Not this one, it doesn't work. Oh. That's a bit weird. Oh, there we go. Maybe we can have it like this. There we go. Kind of like a little bit bluish, but at the same time gray. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Does that make a difference? It doesn't really. Let's keep it like that. Then we can have prism fog for the mountain in the background. So let's have it like that. Nice. Let's see if we can actually tweak this to fit what we want. I don't think so. Exponential? I wish you could go about this number. If you could, then it would be almost perfect, but... Yeah, let's go without. It's not really that much of a big deal, honestly. So we're gonna keep it without the fog for that mountain. So we're gonna go ahead and paint a bit more trees though. There we go. Boom, boom. Like that. Nice. Just a bit more, you know, these trees are obviously more affected by the fog, and we can have a couple in the front to, you know, showcase the distance between these trees and the other ones to the player or the viewer. So we can decrease the size a little bit. Still too much. Let's do like this. 0.5. What did I do? 0.5, 0.6. Drag this. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. Nice. We don't want to overdo the trees. We want to be careful with how many we place because we don't want way too many. Nice. And we could now start playing with the right side of the map in order to cover up this area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of have like a hill or rocky hill at this part. So we could actually start by placing a few rocks here. So let's search rock, go down below to find the pack that I like. There we go. And we want to place, let's try with this one first and foremost. That's actually pretty cool. So we're gonna rotate it to fit the, conform with the terrain. There we go. And we are actually, let's see, oh no, don't do that. Let's remove the LOD. And I actually want to, let's see if this was actually the LOD one. Yep, it was. So I'm not gonna use LOD like I said before. I'm gonna decrease the detail, yeah. And mask can be decreased as well because we don't want too much moss on these rocks specifically. That is because we want to use these as natural as possible, so that we, you know, kind of tell the player that this is a part of the terrain, almost, right? Like that. And to make sure that it's, you know, a little bit more fitting with the terrain, we can actually have a few small grasses here, small pieces of grass, but not way too small because obviously they're not going to be visible otherwise. So let's keep it like 0.8, 0.8, that's 2, and let's see how that looks. A little bit better, yes, definitely. All right. Although I think that this is way too big of a rock to use. I want it to be a little bit more cliffy, you know? I want it to be a little bit more harsh on the terrain. I don't want it to smoothen out completely because that one was pretty flat, as you guys saw. I want it to be a little bit more, you know, like these ones. Not too much, but, you know, we're going to play around with the values. So let's find the ones that we used before. Let's say we're going to use this one, all right? We do like this, do like this. All right, nice. And we can actually, yeah, let's keep up. Yeah, keep the rotations, don't matter. We're gonna rotate it a little bit like that and make it a little bit smaller. And now we can start placing the grass and you're gonna see the difference. But I want to decrease the brush radius and the stroke spacing as well. There we go. That looks better. Nice. That's pretty much how we're gonna have it. And we can actually have another one like this. A little bit further back behind, perhaps. Nice. And once again, same thing here. Boom. Just a little bit. Not everywhere, but you know, just kind of place it around. Nice. There we go. That is actually pretty cool. Now we can have a few up above too, but before we do get there, I want to have one more that is a little bit closer to the camera. Oops, not down. There we go. That's the right. There we go. And this one can be rotated the other way or the other side. There we go. Kind of closer to the camera, like I said. Yeah, that actually looks solid. Place some grass here as well. We're actually going to fill up the entire map with grass soon, but not the entire, you know, but kind of like fill it up a little bit. But let's keep it like that for now, and let's move up the map a bit. So let's use another model for here. Maybe that's too big. There we go. And for this part, we can increase the size of our grass. We can make it up 1.2, 1.2 on both axes so that we can see the grass. Once again, not too much, just a little bit. Then place another model right beside that one. Let's try with this one. I like this model. Yeah, that's actually really nice. So just like that. Rotate it there, boom. And I have it clean. There we go. I think that's okay. I think we can keep it for now. Although we could add one more. We have room for one more. In fact, we're gonna have one here. Like a cliff. So we might, in fact, already now just add it. So we have it like that. Increase the size. One more. There we go. Rotate this one the opposite side so that we match it. Boom. Let's go ahead and copy these two, paste them, and rotate them to fit. That's not the rotation that I want. Let's go global. No, wait. Global pivot center. There we go. There we go. That's a lot better. We just place them here. But we can also rotate them a little bit to the side so that they conform with the terrain. Like that. Now we can move this one a bit closer so that we don't have it hit too much by the fog. Like that. Nice. So that we match it up, you know? We can have some grass here. Boom, like that. Pretty easily, just really like place them down. Now we're gonna have another kind of grass here, and we are going to fill it up a bit, but that's too much, or too much of a size in terms of size. 0.8 by 0.8. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's better. So we just fill the empty parts. You don't have to use way too many grasses here. They're just supposed to be there. Like they don't have to look incredibly. There doesn't have to be way too many. And we are in fact going to vary this a little bit further. So let's not fill too much. Like that. And now we're gonna use the other grass here. Not that one. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So we go here, and we fill up the empty parts with this one a little bit more, so that it's visible. Nice. It's also going to look a lot more sharp than it does in the game view right now, due to the anti-aliasing that we have added. Like you can see, it looks a lot more dense than what it actually does in our game view when we don't play the game. So that's actually pretty good. But now the edges are a little bit too, like they stick out too much. So we're gonna fill up these parts with a few of these grasses too. Like that. Once again, the size of this part doesn't have to be way too much. Just so that it's there, like I said. There we go. Let's see here. We can also change the free. Nah, we can do that later. But that is pretty much it. So we're going to have a few trees here as well, but before that, we can actually add a bit more grass up above the hill, like right here. But in order to save a bit of optimization, we can increase the size of these ones to 1.5 and place them now. As you can see, they cover up a bigger area, although they're just independent. And this is a trick to save a bit from optimization in case you know that your player is not going to visit this area too much. So you just, you know, place a few rocks or grasses that are just going to kind of like fill up the part for you. Which rock is that? Oh, it is that one. All right. Ah, I see where the empty part is. I think. Right? I think so. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Nice. That's what I was searching. Like literally I was looking at this little gap there in between. Let's see how that looks in play. Yeah, pretty cool. As you can see, it kind of looks like layered, which is the kind of effect that I wanted to have here. So I'm happy. Although we can have a bit more grass here, just kind of a few. There we go. And we can remove these bad boys, so that we kind of have it obvious that this is the road and it's kind of turning this way. And maybe we can have it a bit more here, just to show off a little bit more obvious, you know, here's the road, here it is going. We can in fact have one more rock like this. Boom. There we go. I like that fog effect because of that, because it makes it very obvious that these two rocks here, they're not apart. They're not, you know, two in one. They are actually, there's actually a huge gap between them, and fog is pretty much like a visual resemblance of the fact that there is a gap in between and there is a distance right there. So that's really cool. Maybe we can use one more rock up here. There we go. Rotate it a little bit more. Nice. Nice. And yeah, we can actually place it like that. Nice. I kind of want it to be a part of the terrain, or almost look like it's a part of the terrain. So here. We want to add a bit more grass here. I actually want to mix this up a little bit with the terrain grass and see how it looks. That's too much. Let's see if we decrease the size of this. Yeah, it looks too much. Let's see how it looks in play mode. I guess it's fine, you know, adding a bit more color variation there. It's okay, I'm okay with that. Cool. I completely purchased that. So, yeah, I'm okay with this. Although we need some brushes too, or bushes. What's this, by the way? I never saw this one. Oh, these are different bushes. Good, we can actually use this for several parts of this video or of this map. Like here. Yep, that's definitely usable. Nice. We could, though, increase the size of this to 3 by 4 and see how that goes. Yeah, have it a little bit bigger. There we go. That's actually pretty good. It's a good spot for it. We could also have one here, right beside the rock. We could have a few in the middle of the map too, but we need to decrease the size. Yeah, that actually looks sick, but we need a little bit lower in terms of size. 0.7? Let's try that. That's too little. Yeah, that's way too little, but I guess I'm okay with that. I want to populate the map with a few more pebbles. That's too much. Yeah, that's still too much. Or else we could actually have a few here. That actually looks pretty good. But we need more stroking in between these. So we can increase the stroke spreading and the brush size a little bit. There we go. Now they are a bit more spread across the radius. And we are going to have a few smaller pebbles in the middle of the map. So 0.2, 0.3, these are going to be extremely small. Like that. That's actually really nice. Nice. You can have them here too. Kind of like that. Boom. Not everywhere, but you know, and just spread it across the map a little bit, wherever you feel like you actually need them or want to have them, so that it looks a bit more populated. It doesn't look that empty as it should, or you know, it shouldn't look that empty, but just kind of populate a little bit. There we go. It's all about that, you know. It's all about how you use your tools in level design. Like, this is definitely not one of my best level designs or the best one. It's not even getting close there, but this is for tutorial sake, so I kind of give it to that. But still, it looks decent. I mean, I'm okay with this level design. I would publish this. Like, that's what I'm trying to come forward to. And you guys want to focus on that question. Like, if you make something, just kind of ask yourself, would I be able to publish this? Would I be, you know, would I be proud of publishing this one? If you're not, it's completely fine. Just rework it. But if you are, then kind of search for the answer to why you actually are proud of it. Then you will get to the conclusion if it actually is worthy of publishing. And that's the important question. So we're gonna have a few more grasses here. Just kind of, that's too low or too small. Maybe we could actually try with these. Oh, that actually looks pretty. That looks cute. That actually looks pretty cute. I'm gonna keep that. Nice. We could also have like a bush here. Nice. Now it's becoming populated. As you can see, the roads aren't that flat anymore. In terms of flatness too, we are going to try something different. Oh, that's too much. So we're kind of gonna like tessellate this a little bit, you know, have it a bit more higher up at some parts of the map. Like that, not too much. Like this opacity of this should be extremely low. Like you can see my opacity 1, literally the lowest. So just kind of play with this. There we go. Like I said, not too much, just to have that flatness out of your way. Let's see if we can play with the... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I think this one, yeah, this is the one. Yep, we can have it a little bit darker. Oh. Oh. Hold on now. Oh, okay. I'm learning with you guys. That looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. So much better. I have an idea. I actually have an idea. We're gonna fill the roads with a bit grass too. And where we actually are going to place these grasses is legit on the, you know, the like the light parts here, you know, here. And not too many. Like this isn't going to be overdone. Just a few. As you can see, it's kind of adding this little effect of like, I'm alive, you know, I'm an alive map. I'm not just dead. Boom. It looks a little bit abandoned, you know, it gives you kind of that like the eerie vibe, you know? I like it. We're gonna decrease the stroke speed for this so that we can add more grasses here. There we go. Nice. Boom, a bit here. A little bit here. And we can actually connect these with these on the road, although that's too much. Like I said, overdoing this is very easy when you start liking it, so be very careful on the amount, even if you think that it looks cool, because you want to be able to look at it again and still think that it's cool. You don't want to be like, oh, what the hell did I create? Like, what is this? There we go. These are what I call minor details that literally add personality to your maps. This is what you're all about. So you just add a few here and there, kind of mix it up a little bit. And you know, if you think that it doesn't fit, obviously you remove it, kind of add it to another point or another position. If you think that it doesn't fit at all, you just don't add it. Like I said here, perhaps I don't really want it there, but I want it here because I kind of want the pebbles to be visible here. I want these small grasses that we placed visible. So we're just, you know, playing with the ideas. I think this looks cool. There we go. I think here could look cool. Yeah, definitely. There we go. And maybe a few here. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, just don't overdo it. If you overdo it, it's not gonna look good. You don't want to overdo it, you just want to keep it like it is for a bit, but you also want to add that variation. Like you can see here, it looks a lot more alive now. We can also make it a little bit more alive by adding a few more pebbles here. Just where the grasses are, actually where they're not at, like that. Here, a couple. Boom. Like I said, these minor details just add personality to your scenes, so go for it. But don't overdo it. That's the only important thing. Boom. Add a bit more here. Like I said there. Just a little bit. Not too many. Pebbles don't have to be way too many. And at some parts you can actually ignore them. You can also remove them from some parts like these. Boom, a few here just to make sure that, you know, it's a part of this. Remove that, that. Yeah, that looks a lot better than what it was before I did the pebble thing and the grass thing for that matter. I think that it looks a lot better. I can also try adding a few of these smaller grasses. That's too small though. Let's try with 0.5 by 0.5. I think that looks better. Yep, it does. So just kind of have a few of these. There we go. Boom, boom. You don't have to use these all over the place. Just kind of spread them out a little bit and see where they do fit, where they don't fit. Nice. I think that looks pretty cool. I think that looks pretty dope. So maybe remove these. There we go. That looks really nice. Now we're gonna add the last kind of trees here and, you know, kind of fill up the last part of the map. Increase the brush radius a bit for this. Let's see if that goes well. Oh, I did not pick it. There we go. Let's use these for the background, although the spreading is way too much. Or too little. That's why we were spawning too many. It's still too little. I think that's better. Nice. Let's kind of have it for the background. We can also add a few here. Kind of populate the map a little bit. Nice. Now we are going to use the main trees here, where it actually matters. So like that. And the important thing to think of here is to make sure that the rocks that you placed before are still visible, or else what's the point of them, right? So you need to find some perfect spots for these trees, and sometimes even decrease the size to ensure that the rocks are visible. Like that. So we are still highlighting the rocks, but the trees are just an addition. And that's the difference between a good level designer and a bad one. You have to think of when to use just minor details and when to populate the map with your main models. Like here, I don't want to use more rocks, but I don't want to use huge trees. I just kind of want to, you know, have a little bit of variation to the map. And for instance here, like behind this rock, you can't use a big tree because otherwise it just becomes overdone and you're not able to see the background. So I use one pretty small, like 0.3. Ah, that's actually that's much. I think that's too much. That is actually too much. So let's try with 0.2. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just a small little branch here. Looks like a Christmas tree. That's actually a good spot. That is actually a really good spot. Yeah. Although I want to move this rock a bit here so that we can see it still. There we go. That's actually pretty good. So I still think that this part looks a little bit empty. Not really empty, but dull, because these grasses are already being used all over the map. So I wanna do it a little bit different here. Let's go ahead and increase the brush radius. Nah, that's too much. There we go. I removed that grass. And I want to play around with the grasses a little bit. I kind of want to use another, maybe a bush. No, I don't want to remove more. I wonder if bushes can save that place. Right now it's all about survival here. Let's try with 0.4. And not really. I want to use another kind of grass there. Let's see if we have another. Leaf map. Oh, these are just for, yeah, these are bushes. Aloe vera. Nah, doesn't really fit the theme of our map. Oh, oh, that actually looks sick. Does it really fit the scene though? Maybe we can have it in the background like that. It's kind of stick out a little bit. Oh, that actually looks sick. Okay, I'm gonna keep that. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Okay, okay. Let's find the other grass though. Yeah, these are lauded, which is fine. Oh, that actually looks whoa, that actually looks really good. I love the color. I could use that. I could use that. Let's remove the laud though. We want to use this one, laud one, the highest quality, boys. All right, let's move this into our best vegetation prefab folder. Did I do wrong? I did wrong. There we go. That's the right thing. Let's go ahead and add this into our QuickBrush real quick. Ha! Puns. I'm a man. Where is it? There it is. Let's ensure that the size is good enough. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Although we want to decrease the brush size and place it all over the place now. We also want to remove that hue variation, which looks incredibly ugly. Actually, let's not remove it necessarily, but let's make it like that and see if we can actually edit the color of this a little bit. I don't think we're gonna be able to. Well, then we can do like this. We can add it here, here, here. Kind of fill it up a little bit in the map. And we can now alpha cut off like that. I kind of like it. Maybe if we place it close to the camera too, it'll make more sense. Yeah. Actually looks better. Yep. Definitely. I like it a lot better. Because the other grasses, they don't add a lot of variation. Like they have been used already all over the map. Legit, like literally. So why not use a bit difference, you know? Yeah. Keep it there. There we go. Kind of fill it up with the map in the background too. Let's see how that looks in scene, because once again, it's kind of different when you look in maximize play. I love it. I do love it. I do. I like it. Although the colors look a little bit too bright. Where is it? Here. Right before this rock. We can do like this. Remove these. Oh wait. Oh. There we go. Yeah. And now we can use another type of grass here, I guess. We could say, let's see if we have another one that's worthy of using. Damn, this tree looks good. Not grass. Not grass, right? Not grass. This is grass, or? Oh, a little bit like cornfield, you know? Actually looks pretty sick. I like that. I like that. We could use that. Let's have the lot 0, the highest quality one. Move this into our best vegetation prefab folder. Remove this one specifically. And let's see if we can actually make it suit our scene. I will try. It's not, you know, not 100%, but worth of trying, you know? It's too big though. 0.2, 0.2. Let's see how that looks in. Let's see how that looks in maximized place, because you can't really see it in. I guess we can keep it as a little addition to our collection. Your boy can rhyme. Nice. Although one more thing that I want to do with these is enable culling to be front or back. No, it's actually front. Yeah. Hold on. It looks weird when you have front culling on that. Okay, have it like that then. Let's see how it looks now. Just want to ensure that it looks good in play mode. That's actually really good. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's use more of them here. Yeah, that's actually really good. Although I still want to use another type of grass too, in order to fill it up a little bit on this part. I can't really find any grass that will fit this part of the map. Like I said, it's all about the minor details. It's really all about the minor details. Let's add a few mushrooms. Yes. Oh yes, we can do that. Yes. Rough grass. These are the ones that I use already. Are there any other models? These are the ones that I use. I don't think so. Oh. Hold on, we can actually use a stump here. Yeah. Definitely. Although not. That's why I dislike LOD. It doesn't really fit. Doesn't really fit. Oh, this covers up the mushrooms. There we go. We're actually gonna use a bit more mushrooms here. Oh my god, that looks sick. I was not even planning to use any mushrooms because I didn't even think that they existed on this in this asset pack, but apparently they do. And they look sick. There we go. I think that looks a little bit more filled up and kind of not that empty and dull anymore. And it doesn't look like it's forced up, you know? Which is very important when you're creating this kind of map. Oh. Wait, we can actually use that kind of grass there. If we pick this one and go here. Too small though. 0.7. Oh, yeah, that's actually good. Nice. Let's see how that works. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Doesn't look bad at all. Although the background can be played with a little bit. Let's add more clouds. Let's see how that works. Clouds are very important. Yeah, it looks better, but the brightness is a little bit too much. Kind of like a, you know, cloudy day. Yeah, it looks better. Now we can play with the lighting a bit before ending this. We're kind of at the point of finishing this off now. I like this lighting setting too. Oh yeah. Oh, I like it. Although the shadows are a bit too strong. This is the default. Yeah. I think I like it the most like this, actually. Let's see how that works. I want to see how it looks in maximize play. Yeah, I like it better. I honestly like it better. One more thing that I realized before ending this is this part. Trees look too clumped up. Way too clumped up. So let's move them around a little. Behind too, so that it doesn't look too flat. There we go. I think that's better. This one sticks out too much. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, that's a lot better. I like it much more now. Yep, that's actually a lot better. One more minor detail that we could add here is a bit more mushrooms here. Nah, you know what? Nah, never mind. Really don't need to do that. I think we're done here. I think so. I think I'm done with this little tutorial, which was literally me just talking to you guys, meanwhile making a level design. But I guess this is what you guys wanted, right? Let's add a bit more trees in the background. Just this part though, so that it doesn't look that empty. There we go. Well, I think I'm done here. I believe that this is a pretty decent level. It's definitely not the best one. It's definitely not the worst one. And I think it's a pretty good starting point if you guys are, you know, beginning with level design. If you, sorry, if you want me to create something more complex as a tutorial video, let me know in the comments, and I would love to do that. And let me know if you have any feedback, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. We're always helpful. And we're actually gonna host another giveaway pretty soon, and make sure to join Discord for that giveaway. Actually, let me do it like this. Hold on, because when you play free aspect, it kind of, you know, stretches out the map, so we're gonna do like this instead. But yeah, like I said, let me know if you have any kind of feedback, if you have any questions. Like I said, we're gonna host another giveaway also, like I mentioned, so make sure to join Discord. The links are in the description and also in the pinned comment down below. If you want to see more of this type of content, subscribe so that you stay up to tune. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like. It's super appreciated. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good night. Bye bye. Who gon' pray for me?